Hello, my name is Sweetie Shah and welcome to our channel Coding with JS. We will learn JavaScript's primitive data types: string, number, boolean, null, undefined, symbol, and bigint.
JavaScript has exactly 7 primitive types. Everything else in the entire language is an object. That is a genuinely small list to learn. And 2 of the 7 cause most of the confusion. There is also one famous bug that has survived 30 years. So let us go through all 7 and then meet the bug. Knowing these 7 is the foundation for everything else. We start with the 2 you will use constantly. A string is any piece of text in quotes. Single quotes, double quotes, and backticks all create strings. The type is the same regardless of which you choose. Backticks add the ability to embed expressions inside the text. Next comes number, which is a single type for all numerics. Whole numbers and decimals share the same type here. There is no separate integer type, unlike many languages. Every number is stored as a double precision float. That design keeps things simple most of the time. It is also the reason 0.1 plus 0.2 misbehaves. We will look at that properly in the operators module. Because number is a float, it has an upper safe limit. Beyond about 9 quadrillion, integers stop being exact. So a separate type was added for arbitrarily large integers. You create one by putting an n on the end of the number. Bigint can hold integers of any size at all. You will rarely need it, but it is good to recognize. Note that you cannot mix bigint and number in arithmetic. The 4th type is the simplest of all. A boolean is either true or false and nothing else. Those 2 words are the entire set of possible values. Every comparison you write produces one of them. And every if statement is asking for one. Booleans are the type that decides which way your code branches. Now we reach the 2 that people mix up constantly. The first is null, which means intentionally empty. A developer wrote that; it was a deliberate choice. It says there is no value here, and that is on purpose. The second one is undefined, and it is quite different. Nobody assigned this variable anything at all. JavaScript filled it in automatically because it had to. So the difference is about who decided. Null was chosen by a person writing the code. Undefined was chosen by the language as a default. You will see undefined from a missing function argument, or from reading a property an object does not have. You will see null when an API deliberately returns nothing. Keeping that distinction makes your own code much clearer. The 7th primitive is the least familiar. A symbol is a guaranteed unique value. 2 symbols are never equal, even with identical descriptions. That makes them perfect as object keys that cannot collide. Libraries use them to attach data without breaking anything. You will meet them properly much later in the series. For now, just recognize the name. Seeing symbol in an error message should not surprise you. So how do you check which type you actually have? JavaScript gives you an operator called typeof. It returns the name of the type as a string. Here we ask it about 3 of our values. A string reports back as string. A number reports back as number. Booleans and undefined are equally honest. Symbols and bigints report correctly too. 6 out of 7 behave exactly as you would hope. Let us actually run it and see the output. String and number come back exactly as expected. But look carefully at the 3rd answer. We asked about null and it said object. Null is not an object, it is a primitive. This is the most famous bug in the language. It comes from the very first implementation in 1995. Values were tagged with a small number indicating their type. The tag for objects happened to be 0. And null was represented as a pointer to address 0. So the type check looked at null and saw an object tag. It was a genuine mistake, recognized almost immediately. So why has nobody fixed it in 30 years? Because an enormous amount of code now depends on it. A fix was formally proposed and then rejected. It would have broken working websites across the internet. So the bug is now permanent by deliberate decision. Which means you simply have to know about it. To check for null, compare against it directly. Comparing with 3 equals signs against null always works. There is one more property all 7 types share. Every primitive value is immutable. That does not mean the variable cannot change. It means the value itself can never be modified in place. Uppercasing a string gives you a brand new string. The original is sitting there completely untouched. Every string method behaves this way without exception. Forgetting that is one of the most common beginner bugs. You call a method, ignore the return value, and nothing happens. Objects and arrays behave completely differently here. They can be modified in place, which we will cover later. So let us gather all of it together. 7 primitives: string, number, bigint, and boolean. Plus null, undefined, and symbol. Null is intentionally empty, undefined was never assigned. Typeof tells the truth about 6 of the 7. And it will always lie to you about null.